welcome back. In the last video you have learned what is arrays and how to use for each loop in arrays. So you know that array is a collection of elements of same data type, and you cannot provide a different elements using same data type. So in such case it will throw you an error. So here we have two types of array, that is one-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array have nothing but two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array and so on. We'll be learning one-dimensional array in this video. So the syntax for one-dimensional array is, it starts with a data type followed by a square braces, then followed by a array name. Data type can be anything. It may be int, float, double or whatever it is, even a string. So it can be anything followed by a array name. Array name can be either a character like a or even a string like marks, right? It can be anything. Then assignment operator, always remember assignment operator and comparison operator both are different. Assignment operator will assign the value on the right to the left, right? So whatever value is there on the right, it will assign to the left. Next, followed by a new keyword which will create a new array, again followed by a data type. So data type must be same as this data type whatever you are using here, then followed by a size of an array. The most important point in array is array size cannot be changed. For example, if I mention the size of array as 6, then it's mandatory that I have to enter only the elements from 0 to 5. 0 to 5, when I count, the total elements would be 6, right? From 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total number of elements are 6. Now when I enter 7th element, it doesn't accept the 7th element. Instead it will throw a error telling that array index out of bound exception. So always remember, array size is always fixed. You cannot change the size of array. Instead you can change the element within it. For example, if I assign the first element as 1, for example, if the size of an array at 0th index is 1, I can change this 1 to any other element, for example like 20 or anything else, right? Now let us take an example and see how exactly this works. This is the example. I'll be using this example to show in the editor as well. Now let us see how exactly it works. Here what I have done, I have declared the size of an array as 5, right? Here if you see, the size of an array is 5. Next, I have created an array, right? I have created an array of name marks. If you see, I have followed the syntax. It starts with int data type, then followed by a square braces, followed by a name of array, that is marks, and then it's a new keyword int of n. Int of n means it will replace in this way, int of 5, right? It means that I can store only 5 elements in the array. I cannot store 6 elements. Now it will check for the condition. Let us take output box. Yes. Now it will start iterating and it will check for the condition. The condition what we have here, I less than or equal to n. What is the value of I? I will start with 0. As I mentioned in the introduction video, array index will always begin with 0. But when you are finding the length of an array, it will start with a 1. Right? The index begins with a 0. Now consider this box which will contain the array of elements. So here we have given as 5 elements, right? Now I is pointing towards 0 and let us name this as marks, right? Now I is 0. So this is the value of I. I is 0. So initially it is 0 less than, what is the value of n? It is 5. I less than or I less than n. 0 less than 5 condition is true. Now enter marks 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 means 1. To make sure you do not get confused, like I have made it as 0 plus 1. Or else you can even give it as enter marks at 0th position. Now at 0th position, I will be entering the marks via the user input. Now marks of I. What is I? 0. So control will be pointing here. marks of I equal to sc dot next end. We have to enter a whole number at 0th position. So initially I'll enter it as 10. So in my console, it will print at enter marks at 0 at enter marks at I plus 1. I plus 1 is 1 position, right? So at 1 position, it will print the marks as 10, right? Next, what I'll do, I gets incremented to 1. When I gets incremented to 1, the console will be pointing here, and 1 is less than 5, right? So the condition is true, and it will ask to enter for the marks at I plus 1. I is 1. So I plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. At second position, I will enter as 20. That is marks of I. What is the value of I stored? I stored is 1, right? So it will. So here in the output console, it will print as 20. Next, when I gets incremented to 3, initially I was 0, right? 0, the iteration got completed. The first iteration has been completed. Now when I is 2, it will be pointing towards the second iteration, where the condition is true, 2 less than 5, and enter the marks and 2 plus 1. That is third iteration. So at third iteration, I have to enter a marks. It is 30, right? In the console, it will print me as 30. Next, I becomes 3, right? Where the console would be pointing here. And I will enter the marks at I plus 1, that is 4. Correct? So at fourth position, it is 40. Now the last iteration is 5. That is from 0 to 4, it will count as fifth iteration. So at the marks at 4 plus 1, that is fifth iteration. The marks at fifth iteration will be 50. Right? Now when the iteration, now when the value gets incremented to 5, it will check for the condition 5 less than 5. The condition is false, right? Now the loop will stop here and it will come out, and these all you will see in your console, right? Now let us see this in the editor. This is a program like which I have explained. Here the size of the array is 5 and the array name is marks, and here I am trying to enter the size of the array is 5, right? Now let us see how it works. Let us see how it runs. I'll click on run button. Yes. Here if you see, enter the marks at I plus 1. I plus 1 is initially I will start with 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. I will enter as 20. Next enter marks 2. 20. Enter marks 3. 30. Enter marks 4. 40. Enter marks 5. 50. So this will complete. Right? So all these 5 elements are stored in marks. All these 5 elements are stored in a marks array. Now what I'll do, I will try to update few of the elements. For example, marks of, let me take index 2. The element present at index 2 is 30, right? Because it starts with 0, 1 and 2. It is 30, right? So here I will change it to 35. I will change it to 35. Now I will print marks of the updated element, right? Now let us execute it. $40, $50. Now at second index, that is the second index is 30. Now I'm changing it to 35. So when I try to print it, when I try to update it, it will take the updated value, and here if you see, the updated value is 35 for second index, right? Now let me assign a value to the sixth position which does not exist, because the size of an array is 5, as I have mentioned here. Let me try to assign a value to this and see what exactly it prints. Marks of sixth index. Now let us execute it. Again it will ask to enter all the marks starting from 0 to 4, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now the marks at second index is 35, right? It will print it. Now it has printed the marks at second position, that is 35. But if you see, when I am trying to assign the marks at sixth index, it is throwing me an error called as a array index out of bound exception, where index 6 is out of bound for length 5, right? So this is the reason why array index is fixed. We cannot alter the array index. Instead we can alter the element of the instead we can alter the elements in the array, right? Now let us find the array length. Initially here we have declared as array length as 5. 5 means it will contain elements holding 5. It will contain 5 indices holding 5 elements. Now let us explicitly get the length of an array, right? So how you will get the length of an array? Array name is marks, right? Array name followed by length function, right? Array name followed by a length function. Now let us run it. Okay, have missed semicolon. Yes. It will ask for the marks to enter. Yes. Here if you see, fifth index marks is 50, and the changed altered index, that is second index, is 35, and marks dot length is 5. So the length of array is 5, right? So this is about one dimensional array and indexing. And also even you can take the latest value of an array using the for loop, just like how you are entering the marks. So let us see how it is done. For int, let us take a variable called j, because I we have already used. J less than marks dot length. Here why I am taking marks dot length? Because if I change the value here, in such case length will take the latest value. If I use j less than 5, it will also work, but if I change the value of a length here, in such case it will pick up the latest value. Here we are not doing it manually, like it is taking automatically, right? Now j needs to be incremented. Now let us print every value in the array, right? Marks of j, right? Now let us separate it. The following for loop contains, for loop is used to print the array elements, right? Array elements. Now let us run this. So again it will ask for the input 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now if you see, the altered element at second index is 35. Here we have altered it. Next, after that we had provided the length of an array, that is 5. Next, the print statement, that is the following loop, the following for loop is used. I mean, the print statement has been executed. After that, if you see, the all the elements from 0 to 4th position have been printed. Okay, it is printed. It has been printed in the statement itself. Okay, here I have not used new line. It is just print. So only it is printing it here. That is fine. Yes, 10, 20. What was the mistake I have done earlier? Earlier I have used only print statement. So it is printing me at the same line. If I use print new line, then it will move on to the next line. So here if you see, yes, here if you see, it has moved to the next line. Now, here if you see at the second index, which is my second index, 30, this is my second index, right? 0th index, first index and second index. So, I am updating the second index value to 35. So, it has been updated and the remaining values are same, right? So, this is about one-dimensional array and indexing. In the next video, you will learn about two-dimensional array. Thank you.